Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, and streaming, and all sorts of good things. And guys, we are, of course, joined today by Kimberly Curran. Kimberly, how you doing today?
I'm doing well.
You sound so much better than you have the last couple of days. You were really sick over the weekend.
Really sick?
Right? Like you took Monday off, and then you felt better, but you weren't sounding. So you sound great today.
I feel a lot better. Yesterday, I felt totally fine, and I sounded horrible. And I got sick while sitting in House of Gucci is when my ears were on fire, and I was like, is it because I don't like the film, or is it just because
Well, you sound great today. It's good to have you here. And of course, he is the undefeated, the chef of pleasures.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Orr is joining us. He's going to be joining you guys and chatting with you guys in the live chat board today. If you guys are watching live, how you doing today, Ray?
Hey, I'm good. Ready to go.
And listen, guys, we do have a lot of stuff that we're going to cover here today. Big power structure shakeup at Disney. For a long time, the chairman and the CEO have been one and the same person. It is now official. It is not going to be that way anymore. Bob Chapek has a new boss. We're going to talk about that a little bit. The Matrix is going to be facing a couple of giant challenges, not just in HBO Max, but also in Spider-Man. One of the greatest actresses alive, Cate Blanchett, and one of my favorite guys, Kevin Kline, in a new thriller series being directed by multi-Academy Award-winning director Alfonso Cuarón. That and a lot of stuff going on here today. Oh, and by the way, too, you guys know, we've told you guys that we've got a private theater. We're going to have our own private screening of Spider-Man No Way Home on Thursday, December 16th at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon in Riverside, California. And we are going to be inviting a couple of you guys to come down and join us. Now, a bunch of you have sent in submissions to put yourselves in the running to be invited. Well, today, one set of our viewers is going to be selected to come and join us for that. And the person who's going to get selected to come and join us for the Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be determined by Ray Orr and Kimberly Curran as they do battle in a head-to-head over-under game. And whoever wins, the person they are representing is going to get to come to the Spider-Man No Way Home.
No.
We'll get to that.
Congratulations, John, on the new position as CEO of Disney.
So you guys, one of you guys are going to be selected today. Who is it going to be? Stay tuned. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But listen, before we get started, a little bit of house cleaning. I want to remind you guys, if you need your daily fix of the John Campea Show, but you can't be in front of a YouTube video, maybe you're at the gym or you're commuting or whatever, good news. There is the audio-only version known as the John Campea Show podcast. You can find it anywhere where you get your podcasts. Just open up your favorite podcasting app of choice, search for the John Campea Show, and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it. And we thank all of you guys who have already become subscribers to the John Campea Show. All right, guys. With that all down, let's get into our main topics here today. And how do we select our topics here on the John Campea Show? Well, it's really simple. You see, you guys come up with our topics. Whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic here on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's totally free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the show. And by the way, guys, when we get to the second half of the show, we're going to be taking your comments and questions. If you're watching live and you want to get a comment, an opinion, a thought, or whatever on the show, not a question, but a comment, thought, or opinion on the show about one of the topics we're discussing, and you're watching live, just use the super chat feature in the live chat, and we'll read that at the end of the main topics. And then, of course, if you'd like to send in a question to be read on the show or an upcoming companion video, simply go down to the description below and click on the tip link, or enter it in manually at www.streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. You'll be getting your question read on a show if we consider it appropriate for the show. And of course, you'll be supporting our channel at the same time. And all of us here at the show, of course, thank you so much for your support. Okay, guys, with that down, let's get into main topic number 1. Kim, what is our first main topic today?
All right, guys, this is coming from James Lockman. Hey, John, one of the films I've been looking forward to is finally coming out on December 22nd, and that's Kingsman. The first teaser dropped way back in July of 2019, so I'm happy to finally see that it's coming out. The new Matrix film, which I'm also looking forward to, is also dropping on December 22nd. Do you think it was a smart decision for the studios to release these two films just days after No Way Home comes out? I want all three to do well, but it looks like WB is going to lose out on this one.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And yeah, look, Kingsman, the movie looks good. The movie looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time getting terribly enthusiastic for it after how bad the second one was. Like, I'm like everybody else. I love the first one. The first one was great, but the second one was, yeah, not so good. Not so good at all. So we'll see. Although this new Kingsman does have the world's greatest actor who does not have an Academy Award on his mantle in Ralph Fiennes. I mean, I honestly believe that wholeheartedly. After Gary Oldman finally won his Academy Award, I think without it's undisputed that the next guy in line for that best actor in the world without an Academy Award, I think that's Ralph Fiennes.
Is Ralph Fiennes?
It's pronounced Rafe.
Oh, Rafe.
Yes, I know it's spelled Ralph. It's totally spelled Ralph. But it's actually
calling
pronounced
him Ray.
No, Rafe.
And I was like, no.
It's actually yes, Ray Fiennes.
And he's the number one actor that
number
has not
one
been
actor in the
discovered
world,
yet.
also without an Academy Award. No, it's Ray Fiennes. So I'm looking for that. But then there's The Matrix. Now, look, I've already gone on ad nauseum. I won't go into the whole spiel again about why I'm not really excited about The Matrix, although it might end up being great, and the trailer is certainly fantastic.
So good.
But when considering the chances that The Matrix has of being successful, it is facing not one, not two, but three big hurdles. All right?
Yeah.
One we already know about. Here's the first one that we all already know about. The first big hurdle that The Matrix Resurrections is going to face in being successful is the fact that it's been forever and there was a steep decline in quality in the Matrix films and not so good quality in the stuff that the Wachowskis have done since then. And this is, of course, only one of the Wachowskis coming back, all that kind of stuff. So that's one built-in hurdle that it has. But it's the other two hurdles that are really interesting. Hurdle number 2, and maybe its biggest hurdle, is the fact that, like a lot of other movies this year, Warner Brothers' absolutely idiotic decision to release it in theaters and on HBO Max on the same day. Like, they might as well just take wheelbarrows of money and set it on fire. They're throwing away money. And that is going to be a major... We've seen it happen to Suicide Squad. We saw it happen. I mean, we've seen it happen multiple times this year where HBO, or Warner Brothers, I should say, decides to put a movie that deserves a full theatrical release and they drop it on HBO Max the same day. Happened to Dune. I mean, Dune didn't do terribly, but it would have done a hell of a lot better if it wasn't for their day-and-date HBO Max release. And of course, Matrix Revolutions is going to have to face that as well. And that's going to be a major hindrance and a major problem that it's going to have to face. The third, though, is one we haven't really talked a lot about, and that's on me, but the third big hurdle that the Matrix is going to be facing that we haven't talked about is the giant spider in the room. It's opening less than a week after Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, look, if this was Spider-Man No Way Home and then next week Spice Girls The Reunion movie, then you're not worried about that so much because they are clearly going after two very different demographics.
Yeah.
I would suggest that a hell of a lot of people who are looking forward to Spider-Man No Way Home are also very much looking forward to Matrix Resurrections. Now, I don't think big movies have to be released 5 months apart or 5 weeks apart. I think even just 2 weeks separating them is a good cushion, is a decent cushion. But Spider-Man No Way Home is minimum going to make 150 million opening weekend. Minimum. I don't think there's a lot of people who don't think Spider-Man, I mean, it might come in under that, but I think most people kind of believe that Spider-Man No Way Home will probably make at least 150 million opening weekend. If it does that, and if the movie's good, you're probably looking at a 55% drop for second weekend, which still means Spider-Man No Way Home is probably going to make between 67 and 71, 72 million dollars on its second weekend. And that's 68 to 72 million dollars that are going to be eaten up that can't go to Matrix Resurrections. I keep wanting to say Revolutions.
Or Kingsman.
Or Kingsman, for that matter. I'm really more focused on Matrix here, which is really the iconic title. But so not only has it been forever since the Matrix movie come out, not only are a bunch of people who are interested in it not going to bother going to buy tickets for it because it's just going to be on HBO Max on the same day, but on top of all that, a hell of a lot of people who are interested in going to the movie theaters that weekend, a lot of them are going to pick Spider-Man No Way Home. It is a really uphill battle that Matrix is facing. And so a friend of mine asked me the other day, they said, how much money do you think Matrix makes opening weekend? And I shocked them when I said $30 million.
Shut up. That's how...
I think it's going to make $30 million.
Oh, man.
Look.
That's sad.
Now, ask me what I think it would have made if it wasn't opening day and date on HBO Max and it wasn't opening on Spider-Man No Way Home second weekend.
Now, that's the question. Yeah.
Then I'm thinking 55, 60, like not mind-blowing money, but decent money.
Yeah.
With it opening on HBO Max and being on Spider-Man second week, I'm guessing $30 million. Now, I haven't seen what the box office projections are. Like maybe the box office projections are $70 million. I don't know. But I'm having a hard time thinking it's going to be... Actually, let me put up a poll. For those of you guys watching live, will Matrix make over or under 30 million opening weekend? I'm going to put that up as a poll. I'm going to ask see over or under. Okay, for those of you guys who are watching and you look into the chat and you'll see a poll has now been popped up there. Do you guys think that Matrix Revolutions opening on HBO Max on the same day, opening on Spider-Man No Way Home second weekend, do you think that Matrix Resurrections will make over or under $30 million? Now, right now, we've got closing in on 400 votes, and 60% of you are saying under 30.
Oh,
so you guys,
man.
We're now over 500 votes, and it's still holding tight at 60% of you are saying under 30 million, 40% of you are saying over. You seem to have a little bit more faith in it. What do you think it's going to be?
No, it's not that I have faith in it. I'm disappointed that this is very real. No, I don't think it's going to do over. I'm sad that it's not going to do over that. I think you're right. And I think that's such a bummer, especially because I was thinking about the other fact that like this new generation, the teenagers, the kids that weren't there when the Matrix first came out. I don't know that this is going to rival the very first Matrix film, but I think it's so cool for a generation to be able to experience a Matrix film that we all haven't seen come out for them. And I just feel so bad because I think about all the people that wrote in yesterday to say, hey, I got my ticket for Spider-Man. Pretty much everyone that wrote into us mentioned 2 tickets.
Yep.
Hey, I got my ticket, and then I'm going back with my sister, and then I'm going back with my brother and his friends. And everyone that got 1 ticket was telling us about 2 different dates. So I'm like, if not the next day after seeing Spider-Man, the next weekend, I feel like most of our audience is like, that next weekend is not reserved for Matrix. It's reserved for another showing of Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then all the people who couldn't go or weren't interested in trying to go on the first weekend or whatever.
Yeah, that they're not into the fanfare and the crowded. Yeah.
It's going to be tough. So we'll let Ray get flexed up here and warm up his over-under muscles because he's got the big over-under game coming up here in a second. But Ray, let me ask you, I'm guessing 30 million for Matrix. Would you think it's going to be over or under that?
It's going to be over, baby.
Over, with solid enthusiasm. Ray's going on the over.
And so I apologize to whoever I'm representing today.
But you're following in the chat there. What are people in the chat basically saying? Do people in chat?
A lot of them are saying under.
A lot of them are saying under. See, right now we're closing in on 1,000 votes right now on the poll, and 57, staying right around there. 57% of you guys think it's going to make under 30. 43% are saying it's going to be over 30. But here's a question. Let's rewind 2 years. Let's go back 2 years. Forget HBO Max, all that kind of stuff. and somebody comes to us and says, imagine us 2 years ago, and time travelers come back to us and say, 2 years from now, a brand new Matrix movie with Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, both coming back. Brand new Matrix movie, Matrix Resurrections. How much money do you think that Matrix movie is going to make opening weekend? People would have said $150 million.
Yes, absolutely.
150, 160, 170 million dollars. And here we are debating about whether it can hit 30. Debating whether or not it can hit 30. It is crazy. Anyway, guys,
That is sad.
question is for you. What do you think about that? It's Matrix not only versus HBO, but also versus Spider-Man No Way Home. How do you think The Matrix Resurrections is going to do opening weekend? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move into main topic number 2. Kim, what is our second main topic today?
All right, Raza Hyder says, "Hey John, hope everyone's well today. Deadline announced yesterday that Cobie Smulders will return as Agent Maria Hill for the upcoming Secret Invasion series on Disney+. This will mark her 9th MCU project. I always love Nick Fury and Hill's camaraderie, so this is awesome news, even though it was expected she'd be in the show. What do you think of seeing the real Hill again after Far From Home? Thanks."
That is actually kind of interesting. That is really, really interesting. Because look, I'm going to tell you right now, I am actually a big fan of Cobie Smulders, even though I have never watched How I Met Your Mother. I know that that's where everybody knows her from, right? It's from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
I never really watched her on that. I mean, I saw 1 or 2 episodes. I mean, Jason Segel's in that, right? And
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Patrick
And I know a lot of people swear by that show. I watched 1 or 2 episodes. I didn't think it was bad. Not like I think Big Bang Theory is bad. But I didn't think it was bad. I just, never kind of got around to watching. So for me, Cobie Smulders was really, I've always just known her as Agent Maria Hill.
Oh.
And I've always liked her so much in that role. And as a matter of fact, I think I've told this story before, but indulge me in case I haven't. My favorite Cobie Smulders story has to do with Robert Downey Jr. as well. I was invited a few years ago to be the moderator and MC of the Avengers Age of Ultron press junket day.
So cool.
So I got to stand up there at the table I got to stand up at the podium beside the table with all of the Avengers cast. And Cobie Smulders was up there as well. Of course, she's in the movie. So I'm standing there at the head. I'm standing right beside Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr., Jeremy Renner. I mean, they're all there. They're all there. And here's the thing. I was going to pose 1 or 2 questions, and then I was going to take questions from all the media in the audience, right? And I knew that with Chris Evans at the table, with Robert Downey Jr. at the table, with Scarlett Johansson at the table, nobody's going to ask Cobie Smulders a question. So I decide I'm going to ask the first question to Cobie Smulders.
Good for you. That's
So,
awesome.
and she was pregnant at the time, right? Like she was really pregnant at the time. So we start off, I welcome everybody, introduce the panel and introduce the table. And then I go, all right, our first question today, I'm going to pose to Cobie Smulders. And even Cobie was like, what? Me? And I asked her a question about Maria Hill. She's kind of been some connective tissue throughout the MCU. And what does it mean for her to be in this movie and all this kind of stuff, right? And it was great. It was fun. Then I go on to start saying something else. And Robert Downey Jr. raises his hand. I'm like, yes, Robert Downey Jr. And Robert Downey Jr. goes, the next time I am not asked the first question, I am fucking walking out of here. Like, totally. Right? It was gold. The whole place erupted. It was absolutely gold. Favorite Cobie Smulders. Anyway, yes, we shouldn't be surprised that Agent Maria Hill is coming back. She is, of course, Nick Fury's right hand. She's absolutely Nick Fury's right hand. She was snapped away with him, at the end of Infinity War in the post-credit scene. So she is, of course, going to be back. This comes to us from the folks over at Screen Rant, who write, Cobie Smulders is set to reprise her role as Maria Hill for the Marvel event series Secret Invasion. Smulders first appeared as S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Maria Hill in the 2012 The Avengers. What I think is honestly still the best comic book movie ever made, in my opinion. Anyway, acting as the right hand to Samuel L. Jackson's S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury. Hill appeared in multiple MCU projects since that time, including Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Avengers: Infinity War, Avengers: Endgame, and most recently in Spider-Man: Far From Home. I loved her small role in that. Smulders also appeared in numerous episodes of the spin-off show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And that, of course, comes to us from Screen Rant. And this is great because she really is one of those overlooked pieces of connective tissue that kind of just makes, when you're in a movie and like she pops up, like in that Spider-Man film, it just, again, makes the audience feel like we're home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just my favorite rocking chair in the corner. Oh, it's that little end table is there as well. Like just these little things that add up. And I think she's great. As a matter of fact, she just had a TV show, I think it was on Fox, with Jake Johnson. Jake Johnson from New Girl was in it. And I cannot remember. She was like some kind of bounty hunter.
She was like an alcoholic bounty hunter.
An alcoholic bounty hunter or private investigator, right? Yeah. I guess something Boomtown or Dogtown. Guys in the live chat. Stumptown. Thank you. Joseph 4. Remind me, it's called Stumptown. So did Calvin and so did Talia. It was called Stumptown. I think it got canceled after one season. I can't remember. It was actually not a bad show. And I thought she was pretty cool in the lead. And of course, I love Jake Johnson as well.
Oh my
but
God,
anyway, I'm very excited to see her come back for this. Kim, you heard she's going to appear in this. Really shouldn't be a surprise, but it's still nice to hear that she's there. What do you think?
Not a surprise, but she really is that face that when you see her, like, you know it's going down because she's like, she has really good, a little bit of comic relief in the series. However, whenever she's on screen, she's such a badass without trying too hard. She's just an effortless badass, and she's got that stealth mode, that kind that Nick Fury does not suffer fools. So only someone like Maria Hill can hang with him. And I just love her. My favorite role of her is in Winter Soldier. Like when she pops up and she takes off the helmet, and I'm like, yep. Oh, reliable, kicking ass. Let's go. I love her. I can't wait to see her in Invasion.
Question is for you guys. What do you think about Cobie Smulders returning to the role of Maria Hill in the upcoming series Secret Invasion? I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Kim, what is our third main topic today?
All right, this comes from Morris T. Hi, John. I know you weren't the biggest fan of Alfonso Cuarón's Roma, but it was honestly one of my favorite movies of the year when it came out. He really hasn't directed anything since, and I just read that he's writing and directing a new thriller series for Apple TV called Disclaimer, and it'll star Cate Blanchett and Kevin Kline. What do you think of this?
I love this. I love this. Now, you're right. I was not on the Roma bandwagon like a lot of people were. Like a lot of my fellow critics and stuff like that, like just fell over themselves in love with Roma. And look, it is a beautifully artistic film, all that kind of stuff. I just honestly didn't find it incredibly engaging or entertaining, but that's fine. A lot of people loved it. I think it won him the Academy Award for Best Director that year. It was nominated for Best Picture. It is a very, very widely celebrated thing. Okay. Besides the Streep monster, besides Meryl Streep, who is obviously the crowned queen of all things acting, everybody knows that. I honestly believe, aside from Streep, I think the undisputed heir to the throne, I honestly think is Cate Blanchett. I think she's the heir to Meryl Streep's throne. I really do. Multiple Academy Award nominations, multiple Academy Award wins. She's just it. She can do everything. She can be funny. Hell, she was even in a Marvel movie. How great, and by the way, how sexy did she look as Hela in Thor Ragnarok? She was fantastic in that. And then Kevin Kline.
I love him.
Oh my God. Candace coming to kill me. Fish Called Wanda is one of my favorite movies. I still think about A Fish Called Wanda all the time. Kevin Kline, John Cleese. I mean, it's just, I love that movie. Then he's done a lot of other great things, of course, In and Out. And A very underrated comedy that I talk about a lot, but not a lot of people do, is Las Vegas, that he just recently did with Morgan Freeman and Michael Douglas and Robert De Niro.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's wonderful. I love Las Vegas. It's a comedy. It's great. It is also the one, you heard the story about me leaving Robert De Niro hanging. Oh, it's the one I've shown I won't show the picture here again, but there's a great picture of it where I'm sitting down in a room with Kevin Kline, Morgan Freeman, Michael Douglas, and Robert De Niro. And
No sweat.
And I finish my interview with them, and I get up to walk away, and there's a great picture of me with my back turned to them, and you see Robert De Niro half out of the couch reaching out his hand for me, trying to shake my hand, and I've got my back to him as I'm walking out there.
John.
Oh, I know.
John.
I have never been more agog and aghast in my entire life.
Oh my God.
My editor, my buddy Dennis Zen, the Zen master, he was editing the interview, and he emailed me later that night, and he's like, John, you do realize you left Robert De Niro hanging. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he sent me the still image, and I wanted to crawl under a rock.
I would have cried.
Anyway,
like
but
a
it was
little
for
boy.
it was for that movie Las Vegas. Kevin
Oh my
Kline
God.
is awesome. And then he did this movie where he plays the president of the United States and then a lookalike of the president. I think
Yes,
it's called
that's
Dave.
one of my favorites.
I loved it. He did it with
'cause I
Sigourney
love
Weaver.
90s movies. Yes.
Sigourney
yes,
Weaver was the
that's
first lady in
right.
that. So good. I love him. And listen, when you're talking about Alfonso Cuarón, this dude, he is both writing and directing this new thriller
I can't
called
wait.
Disclaimer, right? That's going to have Cate Blanchett and Kevin Kline. He is writing and directing it. He has 2 Best Director Academy Awards and at least 1 or 2 other nominations as well. He won Best Director for Roma. He was, I believe, he was also won Best Director for Gravity with Sandra Bullock.
God, that movie.
He's also an Academy Award nominated writer. He's got like 2 or 3 Academy Award nominations for writing screenplays. I mean, this guy is just like one of the best filmmakers in the world today. And Apple TV, while I had my doubts about Apple TV when they started, I'll tell you what, Apple TV has been killing it.
They're picking up.
They
They
really,
started very slow.
I remember when they did their big Apple TV Plus day, and they were showing things for Morning Show and See and For All Mankind. I thought, none of this looks interesting. It was a boring event. Nothing looks interesting. Checked out. Saw Morning Show. So good. Ray is the one who actually got me watching For All Mankind.
Oh yeah, that was good.
For All Mankind, because Ray was over working on some stuff and he had something on.
Every day I would come over
Yeah.
and I would have it on, and if I missed anything, I'd replay the episode, and John would happen to finish. And you started watching it too, right?
Yeah, I started watching with you. I couldn't believe how good it is.
They're making a second season. But right now I was just telling the chat that I don't keep up with a lot of TV, right? You know that.
I know that.
I always end up like watching the first couple of episodes, and then I'll just drop it off for no exact reason. I did it with Breaking Bad. I stopped at season 5 right before everything went bad. I stopped there just because I wanted my own ending. Like I wanted to be a happy
wanted
ending.
my own ending.
What?
That's really my reason. It's the worst, but
He just does fan fiction instead.
it's the worst. It's the worst. So I'll never know what happened at the end of Breaking Bad. All I know is that both of them bought new cars, and that's how it ended for me.
That's the ending of Breaking Bad.
All right. So, but right now, the only TV series I'm watching is Invasion. I'm actually excited every Thursday when it drops. It's really slow, but for some reason I'm into it. It's just like, at first I was like, man, we're never going to see the aliens. It's all about the relationships. But
Don't
as
give anything away for people catching up.
Oh yeah, as episode, I was like, these relationships are starting to become important to me. Like that's what I'm watching it for now.
And now you're getting
So a complete turnaround from what I started watching it for. It completely won me over with the least, or with the thing that I thought, I would watch it for.
And that's kind of been a standard thing now with Apple TV stuff. It's been the stuff that you don't expect. I still don't like the Jason Momoa. I love Jason Momoa, but I'm still not a fan of C. I don't like C, but almost everything else they've done has really kind of crushed it. And so you've got this, trinity of talent
Holy cow.
doing a show like a thriller. It sounds great. Now, this is a description of what the project is. This comes to us from Variety, who writes, the show is titled Disclaimer, and it's based on the novel of the same name by Renee Wright. Blanchett stars as Catherine Ravenscroft. That's such a TV show or movie last name. Catherine Ravenscroft, a successful and respected television documentary journalist whose work has been built on revealing the concealed transgressions of long-respected institutions. However, when an intriguing novel written by a widower, Kevin Kline, appears on her bedside table, she is horrified to realize that she is a key character in a story that she had hoped was long buried in the past. Again, multi-Academy winning actress, amazing actor in Kevin Kline, multi-Academy Award winning director writing and directing this thing. To me, this thing has winner written all over. The question is for you guys. What do you think about the sounds of Disclaimer? Does it sound like something that interests you? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm all in for this thing. This sounds great to me. Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down into the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, before we get to our main final topic today, we're going to play a little game.
Oh, no.
We're going to play a little game of over-under. And our contestants here, of course, is going to be Ray versus Kim.
Just call the game Kim wins.
Didn't you almost won the last game.
Yeah.
You lost by one.
What a
don't sell
horrible
yourself
decision I made at that Tropic Thunder, making more than what was the movie?
Oh, I can't remember what the
It
last
was
one was.
such a big movie, and I picked Tropic Thunder because I thought it was going to be one of those trick questions, but
Nope, it wasn't. So we're going to, now here's what we've got. Here's how this is going to go, guys. We have Kim. And Kim and Ray are both going to represent a couple of you guys who have sent in submissions to come and attend the Spider-Man No Way Home private screening with us. So let's meet the people. Let me see if I can bring this up properly. Let's meet the people that Kim is going to be representing. She's representing Gabriel and his brother. Let's see if I can get this playing. Here we go. Check it out.
Hi, John. I'm Gabe.
And I'm Julian.
And we would be so honored to join you for Spider-Man No Way Home because I've been watching you since Endgame, and you really cemented my love for comic book movies.
Because I'll tag along for just about anything my brother loves to see.
You've already given us one of the greatest experiences of our life,
They were at the 100 million
So
party.
it's only right that
nice.
you give us one more experience, right?
right? So if you happen to have 2 more tickets for 2 of your most adoring fans, we're your guys. Thanks,
Thank
John.
you, John.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I like the bye-bye, but I could have done without the ketchup on the eggs at the beginning of that thing. That was not cool.
did they actually
John.
show?
Yeah, there it is.
Yes, let me play for them.
Solidarity, bro. They're standing with you, man.
Well, because you know
Solidarity.
it's so good.
All right, so that is who. So Kim is representing Gabriel and his brother, and over on the other side, we've got Gerardo and Tanner. Let's go over and hear from Gerardo and Tanner.
Hi, John. My name is Gerardo Carvajal Beck, and this is my husband, Tanner. We recently got married, and we are your biggest fans. We watch you every night. We watch you after every single movie that we watch together, and we just love hearing all of your opinions on your show. And so we would just love to get to watch Spider-Man No Way Home with you and hear your reactions straight out of the movie theater, and to just hang out with you guys and get to know you. So we hope to see you very soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, so here it is: the hopes and dreams
Ray, if you lose,
of
then you're
Gerardo
gonna-
and Gabriel rest on you two. One of the two of you are going to crush one of these guys. You're just going to crush their hopes and dreams here. So let's get over to it. Here's how today's game's going to go. They're going to be 5 over-under questions. Here's how it works, you two. I'm going to give you a scenario and a number, and you guys have to guess whether the actual number is higher than the number I gave, over, or is it under the number that I gave. Simple enough. Let's go over to it. And our first question, we'll start with you, Kim, and then Ray, you'll have to give your answer as well, as this. Number of acting nominations that Tom Hanks has. Number of acting nominations that Tom Hanks has. The over-under number is 7.5. Kim,
Oh my God.
does Tom Hanks have over or under 7.5 acting nominations?
Under.
Okay, Kim is going to go with under. Ray, does Tom Hanks have over or under 7.5 acting nominations?
I'll go with over.
Ray's going to go with over. Kim is going under. The number is under.
Oh, see?
Tom Hanks.
Damn it.
Tom Hanks has 6 acting nominations. He
Oh.
won for Philadelphia. He won for
should've waited.
Forrest Gump, but he was also nominated for Big, Saving Private Ryan, Castaway, and Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. So we've got 1 for Kim
Oh my God.
versus 0 for Ray right now. So let's go on to question number 2. Our second question, with Kim being in the lead by 1, is this. Over or under? Number of films that Ridley Scott has directed Russell Crowe in. The number of films Ridley Scott has directed Russell Crowe in, over or under 4.5. Ray, we start with you. Did Russell Crowe star in over 4.5 Ridley Scott films or under 4.5 Ridley Scott films? Don't look at the live chat for answers.
Oh,
Don't look. No. Don't cheat.
Okay.
Screen off.
Over or under
Over.
4? You're going to go over. Okay. Kim, over under 4.5 Russell Crowe's Ridley Scott collaborations.
Under.
So Ray's gone over, Kim has gone under, and the answer is over. They've made 5 films together. They made Gladiator, A Good Year, American Gangster, Body of Lies, and that horrible, horrible Robin Hood film. So they have made 5 films together. The answer was over. It's all tied up.
Oh my God.
Hold on, John.
Yes.
To the Tom Hanks question, he was nominated for Terminal, right? I didn't bother to check.
No, he
that.
was snubbed. He got snubbed for Terminal. Clearly, he got snubbed for Terminal. All right. Let's now move on to question number 3 with everything being tied up. Okay. Question number 3 is the following. Over or under? The worldwide box office total for the 2018 Bumblebee movie. Bumblebee. Did it make over or under $550 million? Do not look at the live chat, YouTube.
I'm not.
So, Kim, you're up first this time. Did Bumblebee make over or under $550 million at the box office worldwide?
Oh God.
3, 2, 1.
Under.
Okay, you're going to go with under 550. Ray,
Holy
did
crap.
Bumblebee make over or under $550 million?
And I love that movie, but I think I remember us talking about it. So I'm going to have to go under as well.
Okay, so you guys are both going with the under. The answer is under. It made $467 million. The number 1 box office movie that year was Avengers Infinity War. Bumblebee, as great as it is, was only the 19th biggest box office film that year. It made $467 million. All right, we are still tied. We are still tied up at 1 apiece. So we're heading into the final 2 questions now. Invitations to Spider-Man are on the line, you guys.
Oh my God.
Here we go into the final 2 questions. Here's our second to last question. This one comes to us, and the over-under question is this. The number of MCU movies that came out in 2016. The number of Marvel Cinematic movies that came out, Cinematic Universe movies that came out in 2016, over or under 2.5. We started with Kim last time. Ray, we start with you. Over or under 2.5 MCU movies that came out in 2016.
Over.
Ray's going to go with over. Kim, what about you?
I was just going to say over.
Well, you are allowed to say the same answer.
Okay. Over.
All right. Ray is saying over.
Stop reading my mind.
Kim is saying over. And the answer is under.
Oh my God.
That was
Only 2 MCU
I knew that was a
movies.
trick question.
Only 2 MCU movies came out in 2016. They were Captain America Civil War
Savannah.
and Doctor Strange. Both came out that
Civil.
year.
You put
Civil
the wrong
War.
emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yes, I did. All right. So with that down, now we head into the final question.
Oh my gosh.
Overall or under?
Final question. And
Oh
Kim,
my gosh.
you're up first on this one. This will determine the winner. The final question is number of Spider-Man the number of movies that Spider-Man has appeared in, not counting No Way Home, because No Way Home hasn't come out yet. Number of movies Spider-Man has appeared in, over under 10.5. Kim, over or under 10.5.
In all of history.
We'll clarify since, the only first one he's really appeared in was the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. So starting with that one.
Okay.
Over or under 10.5?
Under.
You're going to go with under. Ray, number of movies Spider-Man has appeared in, over or under 10.5?
Just because this is right, under.
Okay, so you're both saying under. All right. And either way, we're going to have to go to sudden death on this. Because you both gave the same answer.
I know,
So
but
it's going to
then
end
I
up
was,
being tied, but the answer was over. He's actually been in 11 movies. Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and Spider-Man Far From Home. So he appeared in 11
Spider-Verse one
films.
Oh, you know what? I thought the question was except for his own.
No, except for No Way Home.
Oh, except for No Way Home.
Not except for his own.
Oh,
yeah, then the answer would be like 3.
Damn it.
So yes. All right. So we've
Gabriel, I'm sorry.
We've come to a sudden death. Oh my gosh, you know what? I stand corrected. You know what? No, I don't. Okay, so somebody is putting in
Oh, come on.
Bill Dozer put in an MHK that it was even more than that. They're saying Venom 2. I'm not going to count that because that was just footage from that first Spider. He didn't actually appear in it. That was just footage from another movie. But either way, the answer was over. Okay. So now we're going to have a sudden death here. Sudden death question. Now, to make sure that there's no tie, one of you guys are going to get to answer. The other will let me rephrase this.
Just lose?
One of you are going to get to answer.
The other
If you answer correctly, you just win. If you answer incorrectly, the other one wins. The other person wins. All right? Are we clear on that?
Okay.
Who wants to be the one to answer? Who wants to be the one to answer? You know, I'm thinking of number between 1 and 5. Let's see who gets closest.
Go
Kim,
ahead.
pick a number.
She can answer.
4.
Ray, pick a number.
1.
The number was 3. Kim, you are closest. You will be the one to answer. All right? This is sudden death. It's all on the line right now. Are you ready? Here's the question. Number of Academy Awards Lord of the Rings Return of the King won at the Academy Awards. Over or under 10.5?
Over.
The answer is 11.
11.
So it is over. Kim is our winner.
You should have made it where we had to guess the amount ourselves and whoever was closest
Well,
to them.
the game is over under, though.
Oh,
so the
yeah,
game is
right,
over under.
right,
So
right.
Kim wins.
Yeah, Kim.
Kim
I
is
was
now
like
officially.
11. I knew in my head. If you would have asked for the number, I would have said 11.
So you knew
Because
right
I
off
got
the-
you, Gabriel. I got you.
So congratulations, Gabriel and his brother. Congratulations to you guys. You guys are getting invitations to come and join us for our private screening of Spider-Man No Way Home on Thursday, December the 16th at 3:30 p.m. in Riverside. I will be emailing you in the coming days. And a big sorry and condolences to Gerardo. Thank you, Gerardo, for sending that in. Ray has let you down. Ray has failed
Which was
you.
the whole point of this game.
Ray has
to
failed
blame
you.
me for something.
Ray has
He still can't get over the 1-0. This is what it
Crush
came
your
down.
dreams. When you go to
I
bed at
knew-
nights,
I
tonight,
knew-
gnashing your
see,
teeth
I
and
knew
say
it.
no.
I knew this was it.
Oh, let's be honest. Gerardo and Tanner are both getting invitations to
Yes,
the premiere too. So
see?
really, we're gonna give them to both of you guys.
That's so nice.
So,
I
yes.
knew it.
Both Gerardo
Thank you.
and Tanner and Gabriel and his brother, you guys are all going to be invited to our thing. But you know, Gabriel, you know you won because
Yeah.
your champion won for you. So
So
there
you get
go.
a large popcorn from John.
So Ray is going to buy you a large popcorn.
I
Ray,
feel
I
triumphant.
had to open my mouth.
I want to ride around in a circle on a white horse with a crown or something right now. I just feel so powerful.
well, you are 2-0 now. You're 2-0.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
game.
she's undefeated, but at games that I really am bad at.
So we'll see how it goes the next time we do
Asterisk
it. Anyway, by the way, Mike Hill is writing a super chat in saying, Ray, you have failed this city. All right, guys.
One job.
With that, congratulations to you guys. We will be emailing you with details on how you can come and join us for this thing. All right, guys. With that down, let's get back to our main topics today and get to our final main topic
boy.
today. Kim, what is our final main topic today?
All right, guys. This final main topic comes from TK Burton. Greetings, John, Kim, and Ray. Well, Disney announced who will be replacing Bob Iger as chairman of the board, and it's not Bob Chapek. I wish I knew more about Iger's successor as chairman, but for me, the big story here is that they did not select Chapek, who I believe was the front runner for the position. What are your thoughts, and what does this say about the board's current opinion of Chapek?
All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in. All right. This, make no mistake about it, this is huge. This is huge. Maybe not exactly for the reason you might think, but of course, we've all known that Big Papa Iger is retiring. He's stepping down. He's leaving Disney. He already stepped down as number one CEO. He already handed those reins over to Bob Chapek a while ago. But he stayed on temporarily to create a smoother transition as the chairman of the board. But that is coming to an end at the end of this year. At the end of December, at the end of this month, he steps down. And they're going to be appointing a new CEO or a new chairman of the board. We've known that for a while. And now we know who it's going to be. It is going to be Susan Arnold, has been selected to be the new chairperson of Disney, replacing Big Papa Iger in that role. Now, if you don't know much about her, not surprised. She's not somebody who grabs the headlines, but listen to this pedigree, okay? This comes to us from the New York Post, who writes, Arnold, who has sat on the Mouse House's board for 14 years, and who has served as its independent lead director since 2018, will take the role of chairman when Iger departs the firm at the end of the year, the company said Tuesday. Bob Iger has served as chairman of the board since 2012, keeping the role even after he stepped down as CEO last year and handed the role to Bob Chapek. For the past year, Iger has held the role of executive chairman. Now, this is really good too. Arnold comes to Disney from the Carlyle Group, a private equity giant where she worked as an operating executive from 2013 to 2021. Prior to that, Arnold served as president of global business units at Procter & Gamble from 2007 to 2009. She also held various other jobs at Procter & Gamble, including vice chair of beauty and health, as well as president of global personal beauty care products and global feminine care. She also served as a director of both McDonald's and NBTY.
Wow.
This lady's got a resume.
Oh, girl. Okay.
This lady's got a resume.
She's winning.
And Bob Iger also put out a really endorsing statement, basically saying there was nobody else to do this job but her. Like, basically, she's been incredible to serve with on the board of directors of Disney for the last number of years, and she's the person to lead this company into the future and all that kind of stuff. A ringing endorsement from Bob Iger. This marks a major, major shift and change in the power structure of Disney, because for the last almost 10 years, Disney has had one emperor above all, and that was Bob Iger. Bob Iger was both the CEO and the chairman of the board of Disney. His power was, it's not an exaggeration to say, absolute. He ruled and guided Disney with an untethered hand. Now, of course, the only people that he really had to answer to was, of course, the shareholders. The shareholders loved what Big Papa Iger was doing because he led them through many years, over a decade of unprecedented growth, acquisitions, and success under the tenure of Bob Iger. And during that time, Disney has really been led by a singular focus and a singular vision, that being the person who held the titles of both chairman and CEO, Bob Iger. That is not the case anymore. This is a radical change in power structure over at Disney, where there is no longer one undisputed person on the throne. And that's interesting. Now, this also comes to us from the folks over at the New York Post, who wrote the following. In a surprising twist today, Susan E. Arnold was elected chairman of the board effective December 31st, 2021. She will replace Bob Iger, who had continued to serve in the role even after stepping down as CEO. He will leave the company entirely at the end of the year. However, it had been expected that Bob Chapek would be named chairman of the board, a perceived vote of no confidence in Disney's current CEO. In recent weeks, Disney's stock price has plunged as investors grow concerned by a lack of content, disappointing Disney Plus numbers, and growing negativity on social media about the company. Now, I should say this. As somebody who is not the biggest fan in the world of Bob Chapek.
No.
Yes, Quero Supreme. Yes. As somebody who's not the biggest fan in the world of Bob Chapek, I will say this. I'm hearing both in the person writing and asking the question and in that quote that Bob Chapek was considered to be the favorite to also become chairman of the board, which effectively would have meant that he was both filling the seat of CEO of Bob Iger's and Bob Iger's other seat of chairman. And he is not. But to be honest, leading up until this moment, I have personally never heard that Bob Chapek was seriously in the running to be elected the new chairman of the board. I know several people online right now are saying he was the favorite. Was he the favorite? I don't know that he ever was. To be honest with you, to be 100% transparent, I don't even know if he was actually in the running. Now, technically speaking, there are bylaws at Disney that say that an independent director on the board is to become the new chairman of the board unless there are extreme circumstances where the board decides it's in the best interest of the company to appoint somebody else. That's how Iger got the chair in the first place. So to be honest with you, even though a bunch of people are saying online that Bob Chapek was the favorite, I don't even know for sure. He might have been, and I just don't know. But I'm not even sure he was actually in the running for it. So there's that. But that's kind of neither here nor there. There's a new sheriff in town. Oh, wow. Bob Chapek has a new boss. And that boss is Susan Arnold. Now, Bob Chapek is CEO. He is in complete control of the daily operations of Disney. But it is the board of directors that is put together and elected by the shareholders under the leadership of the chairman. It is the board of directors that sets the vision, direction, and overall has to look after the health of the company. It is the board of directors that is responsible to the shareholders to make sure that the shareholders' interests are being looked after and all that kind of stuff. It is the chairperson that can hire and fire the CEO. And this creates a new dynamic at Disney that has simply not been there in a lot of years. And the person who is the chairperson is no longer the person that hired Bob Chapek. Bob Iger, who I think regrets to his decision, but Bob Iger is the one who kind of picked Chapek in maybe Bob Iger's biggest mistake of his leadership. But you know, and Iger wants to give Chapek enough. I believe, you know what I said? I believe, as much as I don't like the job Chapek has done, I believe you got to give him 3 years. I think minimum you got to give him 3 years. You have to understand, he took over that company under impossible circumstances, like impossible circumstances. With the pandemic, Disney parks being closed, all that kind of stuff. That was the environment Bob Chapek took over as CEO. And while I am not a fan of the decisions and the way he has led so far, I totally believe you've got to give him at least 3 years. And so, you know that the guy who gave him that job, Bob Iger, was going to give him at least 3 years, maybe more, to see how he can steer the ship and turn it around. But Bob Iger isn't there anymore at the end of the year. And Chapek got a new boss he got to answer to. And it's just going to be really interesting to see where Susan Arnold, where she falls in all this. Yeah. Is she, now look, this is not some newcomer. This woman has a wealth of executive experience. She's probably got a cool head and a steady hand. I don't think she's going to do anything spontaneously or erratic. Mm-hmm. I don't think Iger or the board would have elected her if that were not the case. So I don't expect her to come out of the gates yelling, "Ha ha! I'm in charge now. Chapek, pack it up. You're out of." I don't expect that to happen at all. But he might be on a shorter leash now. Bob Chapek may be on a shorter leash now. Now, maybe yes, maybe no. For all we know, maybe Susan Arnold is going to be his biggest supporter. But again, it's a different power structure than Disney has had in a long, long time. It is no longer going to be one person's vision that guides and leads this company as it has been. And it's going to be real interesting over the next little while to see how this all kind of shakes out. So, Kim, let me ask you, you hear about this, there's a new, look, when it comes to the operations of Disney, Bob Chapek is the CEO. He is the top executive of the company. But the person is the chairman of the board, and we got a new chairperson in Susan Arnold. What do you think about this? What kind of repercussions do you think we're going to see? Or do you really think we're not going to see much change at all?
Oh, I think we're going to see change. I think this is fantastic. I love that it's structured this way. I think when you have someone like Bob Iger that you love, that you trust his decisions, that you're excited about his next move, you don't mind that he's both CEO and chairman. That's an exciting thing because you're on board with his vision. But when you have someone like Bob Chapek that you're sweating going, please do not also make him chairman. Oh my God. You really want to tank the whole ship. I think it's wonderful. Her I haven't heard about her, but you know what? Her resume speaks for itself. It's fantastic. And I don't think she's got, if you have anyone with a pulse, eyes and ears can understand that the direction that Chapek is taking Disney in, the decisions that he's making, it's not just bad for the company, the morale. When your own people are starting a petition to get you out of there, she sees that, she hears that. And I have a feeling, this is all speculation, don't know anything about her. She hasn't, made a statement that I've heard of yet. But I have a feeling that she's going to come in with the attitude of, obviously I respect the structure, but I have heard from the people, and Disney is nothing without the people, without the fans, without the long-time lovers of Disney, from the parks to the IPs. I think it's really important that she comes in and is kind of speaking for the people, not just popular opinion, but, the optics, the Black Widow. I mean, that whole situation. Are you kidding? In addition to everything else. But I think this is important. I think it's great. And I think that if she has a pulse, which it looks like she does, that she sees and hears, we cannot continue the way things are going. And I'm interested. I would pay high dollar to be a fly on the wall for their first one-on-one meeting.
Oh yeah, that's and again,
Yeah.
remember there is a little bit of a separation of church and state when it comes to the functionality of the chairperson and the functionality of the CEO. And Bob Chapek's got a lot of leeway, but at the end of the day, it is the board and the chairman that are responsible to the shareholders to making sure their business interests are being looked after. And if at any point Susan Arnold sits back and says, the way Bob Chapek is leading this company is not in the best interest of our shareholders and is not in the best interest of our business overall, it's going to be her responsibility to step in and do something. The question is, how much leeway will she give him?
Yeah.
Again, I believe if I'm chairman if I'm chairman of Disney right now, not a fan of Bob Chapek, I'm giving him 3 years. I don't pull the plug on this right now. You have to give him a fair chance. And again, especially considering how terrible the circumstances were that he took over. But after 3 years, if he hasn't turned things around, but it's going to be interesting to see what her take on this is. And again, super interesting to see is how does Disney function now that there is not just one person on the throne? It is not all under one guy's vision anymore. It's going to be interesting to see. Question is for you guys. How do you feel about this? Susan Arnold is now the chairperson of the board of Disney. Bob Chapek got a new boss. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think it's interesting? Did you think Chapek was going to become chairman? Did you know that he wouldn't? Whatever you guys are feeling about this, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With all that down, let's now move over and hear what you guys have to say about all this. For those of you guys watching live, and only for those of you watching live, we've had the super chat feature open in the live chat. If you guys have a thought, opinion, observation, or theory about any of the topics we've talked about here today, we want to hear from you. So a bunch of you guys have been firing them in already. So let's jump over and see what you guys say. Kim, where are we starting at?
All right. Unbeatable says, so pumped to maybe sort of, if I'm bored, get around to watching Matrix Resurrections when it hits HBO Max.
Yeah,
Well,
so pumped to maybe sort of, if I'm bored. Yeah, I'm going to check it out because I thought the trailer was fantastic. I think the trailer's fantastic, so I'm going to check it out, but I don't have a lot of hope for it. We'll see how it goes. All right, what's next?
Raymond Verata says, no spoilers here, but you know when a hero says he has 6 bullets and then shoots more than the number of bullets? Yeah, Hawkeye is the same. He's Mephisto.
Yeah, Hawkeye only runs out of arrows when it's narratively needed that he has to be in a position where he has no arrows. Other than that, all the arrows in the world. All the arrows in the world. All right, what's next?
All right, coming from John Brown. I know it's random, but just finished Chucky season 1 and have to say I'm so happy to pretend AI Chucky doesn't exist anymore. Can't wait for season 2.
I'm not going to lie. Unpopular opinion. I enjoyed that Chucky movie. I enjoyed that the one with Mark Hamill doing the voice of Chucky. I didn't think it was great. It also had Paperboy. He was just in Eternals. Paperboy from Atlanta. What's Henry Tyree Hill? Is that his name? Mm-hmm. So he was in that Chucky one. I actually kind of liked it. I know it's not the popular opinion, but I actually kind of liked it. So whatever. All right, what's next?
Christian Andrade says, finally, some to keep Chapek in check.
Again, Bob Iger, understanding that his tenure as chairman was coming to an end, he has really stayed mostly hands-off and wanted to let whoever the next chairperson was going to be to take care of things. And now you're right. There's somebody who is going to be more hands-on and maybe keeping Chapek in check. Again, she's got to know her role too. The role of the chairperson is not to run the daily ins and out operations of the company. That's not their role. But it is their role to oversee and evaluate the executives in the company. And it's just going to be interesting to see how active she is in that. All right, what's next?
Griffin Harrer says, hey, John, just read a Yahoo Entertainment article from 5 days ago that states Marvel's own promo team leaked Tobey is going to be in No Way Home. One of three, and I don't see any I
others.
don't see any others.
I think in the chat earlier, he said he tried to get them all together. Is that Gerard?
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I found another one from Griffin.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found the other one from Griffin there. It says, through a dog toy subscription called BarkBox that shows his Spider-Man on the back of the box very discreetly, that type of promo requires Marvel/Sony to license the material on their packaging. Twitter user Dominic Kravitz posts the video with the photos of it. Just thought I'd share. Again, look, there's not a person on the planet, other than maybe Kim, there's not a person on the planet who doesn't know that Tobey and Andrew are in this movie. I mean, look, I'm not going to die of shock if we find out they're not, but I totally am I believe for a long time they're going to be in it. A lot of you guys, almost all of you guys, believe they're going to be in it, especially once that video of Andrew Garfield came out. So, whatever. To me, at this point, it's really not a big deal because everybody's known already anyway. All right, what's next?
Rachel Knight Online says, hey, John, out of the many movie reviewers and YouTubers who are out there, who are some of your favorites? Much love to you, Kim, and Ray from El Paso.
I'm not going to answer that just because I know a lot of them. And out of fear that I'm going to mention a couple and forget to mention some others and then get some people, you know how this fucking thing works. People are like, you didn't mention me. That means you secretly hate me. Look, that's how all people are. Especially people who do things on camera. They're very, very fragile. We can be a very, very fragile bunch. So out of the risk that I may forget to mention some people I should mention, I'm just not going to mention any of them. How about that? Sorry, but I cannot. It's the Christmas season. I can't get taken off anybody's Christmas card list right now. All right, what's next?
Michael Serda says, deleting all social media apps the week of No Way Home. It's so close.
I would. You know what I would do?
Me too.
Just call your internet cable provider and cancel your internet subscription for like 48 hours. Just do that. Play it really safe. All right, what's next?
Christian Andrade says, did John eat the eggs yet or did I miss an episode?
Oh, you missed an
Oh, you missed
episode.
it.
Yeah, that son of a bitch, Ray, sitting over there. he made up some eggs. The eggs were delicious, by the way. Aside from I ate the bites that didn't have ketchup on it. They were delicious.
I actually have a question for you since I've been hearing it a lot in the chat. Is the first press screening for No Way Home tomorrow night? Do you know that for sure?
Or?
I will call off of work the next day or two because I do not want to mod this chat after the press screening because things are going to get out.
I don't. I read an email a while ago that said when it was, and I don't remember. I thought it was like a week before the movie came out, which would mean next week, but it might have been tomorrow. I just don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know off the top of my head. All right, what's next?
Okay, this is coming from John Redcorn. After No Way Home, I think Sony's going to announce their full slate of Sonyverse films coming regardless of if Spidey is staying in the MCU or not. Do you agree?
I think Sony is going to avoid the mistake that both DC and to a degree Marvel has made by getting ahead of themselves and making big official announcements too far in advance. Because we've seen that bite DC in the ass when they announce all these films and a whole bunch of them don't end up happening. Marvel's been bitten by that a little bit too. Like they started announcing like 15 projects in advance and hey, where's that Inhumans movie? Oh, right. Ain't there anymore. So I don't think they're going to, I think we'll hear some official announcements about their Spider-Verse movies, but I don't expect to hear like, here's our next 7-year plan. You know what I mean? Because I think they saw other people get bit in the ass by it. All right, what's next?
Markvel Blah says, choose a Canadian. Canadians never get a chance to win these things. I would drive down to California for this.
Well, I mean, look, we are just kind of picking at random and sort of that sort of thing. I don't know that I would drive from Canada to California. I've done that drive before, but hey, you're in the running. If you submitted, you're in the running too. So we'll see how that goes. All right, what's next?
Noah Drassen says, I'm hoping Venom has somewhat of a significant role in Spider-Man No Way Home. Maybe something big to set up Spidey in the Sonyverse.
See, I know certain things, and so I don't know what I should say and what I shouldn't say, other to say, that's an interesting comment, Noah. Interesting comment. All right, what's next?
James Argenta says, what Disney has done has become more common in bigger business over the past decade. Both Apple and Google have done the same thing in recent years.
Yeah, I remember one of the big things I remember was Microsoft. When Bill Gates was both the chairman and the CEO of Microsoft, and then he stepped down as CEO, and then Steve Ballmer, who's now the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers. So he handed the CEO-ship over to Steve Ballmer, and then he maintained the chairman of the board. So that, yeah, you're right. It's becoming less and less common, I think. I mean, it's still out there a lot, but I think it's becoming less and less common for one person to be both chairman and CEO. All right, what's next?
Raymond Verrata says, Canada didn't know Quebec has a strategic maple syrup reserve like the U.S. has for oil. A global shortage has forced Quebec to release 50 million pounds. Yep,
and there's actually a movie coming out about somebody trying to do a heist of the Quebec maple syrup reserve. No lie, I think that's in development. Maple syrup is very important in Canada.
That's very interesting.
It is very interesting. All right, what's next?
Oh my God. Alexander Kent says, Patreon supporter John.
Thank you, Alexander.
Your passion for Canada reminds me of the WWE tag TM La Resistance. They grew on me just like your passion. Oh, Canada.
Is that
LOL.
a tag team right now, Ray? Is that a current tag team in the WWE, or is that an old tag team? Because I just remember the Russo brothers.
The Rougeau brothers.
The Rougeau brothers. Sorry, I said the Russo brothers. That's something completely different.
The Rougeau brothers.
The Russo brothers. Jacques and who was
Ray?
Jacques and Ray Russo.
Yeah,
Rougeau
I had
brothers.
to be a fan of the other half of that team just because of his first name.
Ray. And then one of them went on to become the Mountie.
The Mountie. And the other one went to give oil changes at Jiffy Lube.
He's a play-by-play commentator
Oh,
now,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
for French WWE.
Right.
That's the only one that knew, so I'm not familiar with La Resistance. All right, what's next?
Isaac M says, brought my No Way Home ticket in IMAX with laser.
Nice.
Not sure that the deal with that is what the deal with that is, but it was expensive. LOL. Sort of wish I was able to get in Dolby.
Yeah, look, the premium theater experiences like IMAX and listen, because my theater of choice, which is a Dolby AMC Prime, that's like $21 or $22 for a ticket to that one. I mean, it'll be cheaper for one of the regular theaters in the same building, but yeah, those can be expensive. I hope you have a good time though, Isaac. All right, what's next?
Kendall Barker sends in a super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kendall.
Josie Reviews says, Sing 2 also comes out on December 22nd, and even though they showed the movie in the trailers, I still liked it. I don't see Sing 2 making under 20 mil.
I mean, look, it's a family film. I'm not a big fan of the first Sing movie. It wasn't bad. It's not bad, but I wasn't a big fan of it. But listen, families liked it. And this does look pretty interesting. I like the trailers. I mean, let's face it, I just like because it got U2 in it. You got Bono
Yeah.
singing, so that's pretty cool too. So we'll see how it does. All right, what's next?
My Comic Planet sends in a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Matt Ramos on Twitter just posted special announcement tomorrow, No Way Home. If that means press screening for No Way Home, my advice is to stay off Twitter tomorrow if you don't want to get spoiled.
The premiere
I think I'm going to turn everything
press
off.
screenings are different. You're not going to get spoilers coming out of press screenings for the most part. Now, a premiere, you can, because that's not just professional film critics that know not to say anything. That's like people and their dates and their kids and whatever. And once that happens, anybody can jump on Twitter and start putting out whatever. I wouldn't be terribly worried. I would be terribly worried after the press screen. Again, I'll look up my email to find out if it was yesterday, if it's this week or next week. I thought it was next week, but whatever. But I don't think you have to worry too much yet. But it never hurts to be cautious. All right, what's next?
John Farag says, hey, Campea et al. Maybe Matrix would hit 50 million if they promise not to play a Nickelback song in any part of the film.
This is how you
God.
remind me of what I really am. That would make them all the money. Matrix would sell all the tickets.
Please skip.
Neo, to save the Matrix, needs to work with Nickelback.
My God.
Please skip any super chats that reference Nickelback.
Because he
from
will
now on.
sing, and I don't want to hear it.
All right,
Just like nobody wants to hear me sing.
all right, what's
Ship-
next?
It's just Nickelback. That's the problem.
Shiv Patel says, didn't we expect Jumanji to completely be smashed by Star Wars? But we know how that turned out. I'm trying to be a little more hopeful that it's not that it's DJ.
I have no idea what that means. Well, look, that was a matter of just that movie doing much better than we expected. But it had to have long legs. Remember, Jumanji didn't come out and have a huge opening weekend. As a matter of fact, let me go in and double check this. Jumanji box office. If I remember correctly, it didn't have the best box office opening weekend. According to Box Office Mojo, the first Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart Jumanji movie made $36 million opening weekend. It made $36 million. A movie that ended up making $962 million at the box office. But that was from legs and word of mouth and all that kind of stuff. But it opened to $36 million. And by the way, that had a lot to do with what it was competing against too. Matrix's opening weekend is going to really struggle. It's going to struggle. Because if Jumanji, with the biggest movie star in the world, in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart and Jack Black, and if that's opening to 36, and yeah, it had great legs later on, but it also didn't debut on HBO Max on the same day where people, it's not an apples to apples comparison there. Not an apples to apples comparison. All right, what's next?
Zoe 1017 says, man, if I didn't use my free plane ticket to go to Disney World for Christmas, I would have loved to fly down from DC to watch Spider-Man No Way Home with you guys.
And it would have been good to have you, Zoe, but have fun. Have fun. That sounds like a great fun trip you're going to have. All right, what's next?
Ben Rayner says Colby Smulders in the MCU is like Amy Adams in Talladega Nights with Will Ferrell. Oh yeah, she's in that too. I always forget Amy is in Talladega Nights, which she's awesome as Ricky's assistant.
There are so many movies I've come across that I go, I totally forgot Amy Adams was in that. Like there's a number of those movies with Amy, but you're right. Colby Smulders is kind of like that too. All right, what's next?
Power says, I just want to say, I think it's a missed opportunity that Rey isn't in the Hawkeye spoiler thumbnail as Kate Bishop.
Oh no!
Hashtag
Yes,
that
still
came
stands with
across
John.
my mind.
Did it?
But I am too pretty.
I feel pretty.
You don't want to embarrass Haley Steinfeld.
I know, and plus color matching my skin with hers would be a.
That would be a
Yeah,
trick.
it was closer. It was closer with you and Jeremy.
Oh yeah, because
Renner,
I'm
but-
so pasty white.
Yeah,
'Cause I am
but,
pasty white.
that would take some work.
That would take a little bit of work. All right, what's next?
Double B Studio says, I wish you never have to eat ketchup on eggs again or pineapple on pizza just because you said Big Bang Theory was no good. Thanks. That show sucks. I know people that really love it. I'm the black sheep.
Here's the thing that gets me about that. Like when I watch the couple times I've watched that show, My overwhelming, you guys have heard me say this before, my overwhelming theory or feeling about Big Bang Theory was it's a show being written by people who have no idea about
Nerd
pop
culture.
about nerd culture, geek culture, writing about geek culture. That like I've seen 2 or 3 episodes at most, but every time I watch it, it's just this is a show being written about geek culture by people who have no clue what geek culture is. That's all I ever get every time I try to watch it.
I've never
It's like
laughed at
me
it.
trying to write a TV show about hardcore anime fans. That's how a show that I write about hardcore anime fans, that's how Big Bang Theory comes across to me. But again, if you watch it and like it, awesome. Some of mine and Ann's best friends love that show, and that's awesome if you do. I just couldn't get past that, but that's just me. All right, what's next?
Luis Enrique de la Peña says, in addition to Matrix Resurrections and Kingsman, Nightmare Alley releases on
Yeah.
the same day as Spider-Man No Way Home. Is it a good idea to keep it there?
See, here's the thing. Is it a good idea? No.
Hell no.
But I will say
Terrible.
this. It's not bad counter programming. The audiences that are going to be going to Nightmare Alley are not necessarily the same demographic. They're not appealing to the same audience, right? And one of the things that we learned with, I think it was Star Wars The Force Awakens. No, it was Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Quick question for you guys. Both you two and you in the live chat. What movie, I believe it opened against it. I could be wrong about the exact day. Do you guys remember the movie that opened against the Force Awakens, the Phantom Menace, I mean?
Garden State?
Another teen movie.
Now, I might be wrong about this, but I think it was The Mummy.
Oh,
What?
I think it was Brendan Fraser's movie, The Mummy.
Are you serious?
Now, let me just double check this. It opened on May 7th. And what day did the Phantom Menace open? Hold on a second.
I love that first Mummy movie. Oh, man.
that was a
The
great
Phantom
blockbuster
Menace
right
opened up
Oh my
on.
God. Right.
Also, let me see if I can find the
If it
release
did
date
open
here.
up against it,
You're
that means I
horrible.
rented it at Blockbuster.
You're horrible.
The release date for it is, I cannot find it. No, I stand corrected. The release date for it opened on May 19th.
Oh,
May 19th is when the Phantom Menace. Anyway, so that point I was going to make is totally moot because apparently
Well,
that's not what it. But
something had to come out against the Phantom Menace.
I think everybody tried to avoid it. But here's the thing: people are going to want to go to the movies that weekend, and they may not be able to go see. Listen, as strange as it is, while more and more people today do know how to buy their tickets online in advance, there are still a lot of people who just show up at the theater to buy tickets. And when they get there and they find out that Spider-Man No Way Home is completely sold out, they're going to want to see something else. Or you're going to get a lot of people who don't really care about either seeing Spider-Man No Way Home or when they see it.
Fair
But
enough.
this is a movie that is very different. So I don't think it's going to be, I think it's perfectly fine to leave it there. Now, would I open it on the same date as Spider-Man No Way Home? No. But do I think it's the dumbest decision? It's a completely different kind of movie. So I don't know. I think it's okay where it is.
I think you're right about that, John. Just about the people being spontaneous
Yeah.
and going just to watch a movie. Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Chris Leonardo sends in a $25 super chat.
Oh, thank you, Chris, for supporting us on that level, man.
That's it. Hi, John, Kim, and Ray. Just enjoying Luga for lunch.
Whatever that is.
Okay, all right. While watching your show, not gonna lie, I'm relieved that Chapek wasn't named Disney chairman.
Oh, look, I'm not going to lie either. So am I. I totally. I never thought he was even in the running. I know a bunch of places are now writing that he was the front runner, which I didn't even know that he was in the running for. But yeah, I'm with you 100%, Chris. I'm very relieved he's not. Again, let's still see if he can turn around and do a good job as CEO. But whoo, it would have been a John Campea rant day if we had woke up this morning and found out that they had elected him as the chairman of the board too. Then he would have had unfettered power over there. I'm so glad he does not. All right, what's next?
Dan's production says the inside look at Star Wars Resort looks bad.
Haven't seen it myself, but I'm going to be very interested to see those. All right, what's next?
Thank you so much for Wanda Blackwell90 that sends in a super chat.
Thank you, Wanda.
Yash Rajput says, can't wait for the Infinity War Endgame level amazing theater experience while watching No Way Home on December 16th in India. Very excited after a 2-year gap. Thank you.
No expectations going in there. Say, oh, it's going to be as it's just go in, leave your expectations at the door, and have a good time. Like, just don't walk out. So, well, that wasn't as big as Endgame. It's okay. Let's just judge it for something. I hope you have a good time, Yash. All right, what's next?
Wanda Blackwell 90 says, Kim, John, and Ray, thank you for all the hard work that you do. I love hearing the different perspectives and viewpoints from everyone. Hashtag Ticket Watch. Hashtag Bring on the Filthy.
Ticket Watchers. And by the way, Wanda sent in $20. Thank you, Wanda, for supporting us on that level. No, seriously, we have a really good time. I'm really excited for when Ray and Kim actually start working hard. Right now, it's just basically me right now.
Yeah, and that's basically him. That's it. I just wake up and come here, and I'm like, what am I doing here?
Who are you again?
The most casual opinion.
But no, honestly, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate that. It's good to have you here, and thanks for supporting our show like that. All right, what's next?
Manny Garcia says, when is the last day to submit a video for the No Way Home viewing party?
Done. It's done. It's closed. We've got way more than I haven't even started watching most of them. Like, there's just too many in there already. So,
my God.
yeah, so the submissions are now closed, unfortunately. But hey, if we have fun at this event, maybe we'll do it again in the future. Maybe we'll book a theater. Maybe we'll see if we can book a theater ourselves for like Doctor Strange or something like that. But we'll see how this event goes. We'll see how it goes. All right, what's next?
Caden Stab says, you'll get your rent when you fix this damn door.
Rent? Where's the rent? All right, what's next?
Dance Productions. Coda is an excellent film on Apple TV.
Which one is Coda again? I can't.
Children of Deaf Adults. It's with Marley.
Oh, yes. I saw that. The trailers for that looked really, really interesting.
Beautiful.
Here's the thing. I didn't even know it had released.
Oh, it's so good. Did you see it, Ray?
No. It's only Invasion right now.
It's only Invasion.
Tomorrow, the new episode drops.
It's charming. It's interesting. It's educational. It's heartwarming. It's a really beautiful film.
All right, what's next?
Mike Thompson says 7.5. How is that possible to get half a nomination?
No. See that? No, look, you don't understand. When you do over and under, it's much like a line in sports betting. You have to set a number that cannot be a tie. Obviously, the answer is not 7.5. You have to guess whether it's over that number or under. Like if you just said the over under 7, well, then now 7 can't be the answer, right? So you say 7.5. So 8 would be over, 7 would be under. That's how that works. All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher says, I know that if No Way Home is good, I'm seeing it again.
Oh, yeah, I think a lot of people, this is good. People are going to see it 4, 5, 6. I don't know if they'll see it 7 times like I saw Shang-Chi, but a lot of people are going to see it many times. All right, what's next?
Mike Hill says, Ray, you have failed this city.
A little green arrow there for Ray.
Wow, he actually super chatted just to say that.
He actually wanted
to say I
super
failed.
chat to put you in your place.
Man, that money right there. Jeez, man.
Oh my God.
All right, what's next?
Charlie Bean says, as a big Dragon Ball fan, I would like to Ray for the Majin Bao on your desk. I have the same one alongside 60 plus other figures.
What's he talking about there, Ray?
This one, where he's sticking up his middle finger. It's like my favorite character in the Dragon Ball series. I don't know. I guess he has it.
I didn't even notice that one on your desk.
Yeah. He's
all right.
Flipping people off.
All right. What's next?
One True Emperor podcast says, hey, John, just wanted to let you know that for the past couple weeks, I have had Star on Disney Plus. Would not be weird, except I live in Minnesota.
I don't know what any of that means, but I didn't even know Star was available in the United States. So that's interesting, but I don't know what the rest of that means. But thank you, True Emperor podcast, for sending that in. All right, what's next?
Andrew Shum says, I agree with Ray. In the future, if it's a tiebreaker, it should be who guesses the number closest to the answer. Regardless of the game, it's only fair.
Okay, yes, but Kim could say 8, and then Ray could say, I also say 8.
All right,
That
that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
and I was going to do that. For the past 3 questions, I was like, if I actually think it's the opposite, I might do the same answer as Kim, just so both of them can go.
Well, that's why you have to alternate which one answers first to make sure that can't happen either.
My main goal was for both sets of people to go. That's all it was.
Hey, and to be fair, before the show started, I didn't tell them I was going to do this. Before the show started, Ray said, You know, really should invite both no matter what. And I told Ray, nah, man, there's got to be a winner and a loser.
And in my head, up until that point, I'm like, John is such a dick. I was like, why is he going to be a dick? But thank you for showing me your true self again.
I was
wrong.
always going to
I was
invite
wrong.
both of them, but not next time. Next time, one
You
of
want
you
someone to blame.
lose.
You want somebody
Ray's
to
gonna be
blame.
the blame for it. All right, what's next?
Coreo61827 says, will increasing popularity with virtual reality someday impact the movie theaters since you can watch movies in virtual theaters with friends? Thanks.
Nah, I remember this question came up like 5 years ago. I remember I was still at Collider and people were saying, oh, when the Vibe and like all the headsets were coming out, and I've got one. Actually, Ray's got it right now.
And,
and look, they're kind of fun. Like I like Beat Saber. I think it's a fun game and everything. And I've done the virtual theater thing, but no.
Not for movies.
No,
Not for movies.
I think it's not a
too
good
long.
experience.
There
It's
won't be
too
an
long.
end game where you can actually catch the hammer and feel the weight.
Well, that's just, yeah, but
would
no,
be so cool.
I just, no, I didn't think it was a very good experience, to be honest with you. So I don't think so. People have been saying that for years, and I've never seen anything come close to it. So I could be wrong. That's just my kind of guess on it right now. All right, what's next?
Elizabeth Gerardo says, Aquafina was casted in Renfield. I like it.
Yeah, we might mention that tomorrow. It does tell us something about what kind of movie this is going to be, maybe. But listen, I'm a growing fan of Aquafina. I really do like her a lot. All right, what's next?
Stormin Norman says, I basically perceived Susan E. Arnold being elected chairman of the board as a vote of no confidence in Disney's current CEO.
Well, see, now you could do that if it was standard practice that the CEO of the company is also the chairman, but that's not standard practice. Like I said, to be honest, I don't even know that he was in the running to be chairman of the board, to be honest with you. So, but maybe you're right. Maybe that was the board basically reprimanding and saying, look, we don't believe in Chapek, but the job of the chairman is a different job than the job of the CEO. And so maybe it is, maybe it isn't. All right, what's next?
Super Adam Cox says, curious if old thin-skinned Chapek can handle the fact that he isn't Lord Emperor. It's better that the power structure is shared. Thanks, Campea, Kim, and Ray. Love the show to death.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how Disney, which has operated for the last decade or so with one guiding vision, overseeing everything in Bob Iger. Now it's a little bit different. It's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. Thanks for writing that in, Super Adam. All right, what's next?
Charuzu says, this is fantastic for Marvel. I was worried how Chapek would look at the MCU. I believe Kevin Green lights through the board and not with the CEO.
No, I can 100% tell you, Charzu, you're absolutely wrong about that. The board is not involved in the day-to-day operations of the company. What movies get greenlit and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't even go up to Chapek. There's somebody under him. He appointed one of his banker buddies to be in charge of Kevin Feige and all that kind of stuff. So no, I can 100% tell you are not correct about that. That Kevin Feige does not go to the board. The board does not get involved in the day-to-day operations. They are in charge in the overall vision and direction of the company and accounting to the shareholders, but that is not something that goes to the board. Bob Chapek will be the final decision maker when it comes to stuff like that. All right, what's next?
Anthony sends in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, man.
With a D&D film eventually on the way, do you think that D&D is better suited for film or a series with the success of shows like Witcher, Wheel of Time, and potentially Lord of the Rings?
I always think the better storytelling medium is movies. I just think a movie, a 2 to 2.5 hour formatted package is always the best way to tell stories. But there are always exceptions to that, right? There are exceptions to that. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. If you don't have storytellers connected to it who know how to tell that story, it don't matter if it's in a movie format or a TV format. It doesn't matter. If somebody makes a terrible Avatar: The Last Airbender movie, guess what? If they do a TV show too, they're going to do a terrible job on that as well. So for the most part, I usually lean towards the movie packages, but it's just, do you have a storyteller that knows how to tell a story? It's just that simple, whether they do or they don't. And then you adapt it to fit the medium, but it's got to start there. All right, what's next?
Mr. 47 says, do you know when the review embargo is for No Way Home?
I do not. I don't know that off the top of my head. All right, what's next?
Colby says screening of No Way Home for press is confirmed for tomorrow.
Again, I believe you. I've got an email from like a week or two ago about it. I just couldn't remember if it was next week or this week. Okay, so there you go. All right, what's next?
Ismail Montoya says if Susan Arnold watches the John Campea Show, Chapek is F.
Because if she watches this show, then she completely makes her decisions based on my opinions. That's totally how it works. All right, what's next?
All right, my good friend Proestos, something, unpopular opinion.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Thank you.
Guys, please do not write in abbreviations. Don't write in abbreviations. Please don't do that.
I try my best, but sometimes you guys, my brain's like, burr, burr, burr. Is my favorite Spider-Man movie? Yes, you heard me right.
Hey, not a popular one, but that's the subjectivity of movies. If that's the movie that worked best for you, then that's the movie that worked best for you. And listen, there are some really good things in that movie, even though I thought it was a step down from the first one. All right, what's next?
The Fan Riot says, am I the only one who doesn't think Tobey and Andrew will be in the movie? The trailer gives clues of Doc Ock and Green Goblin joining Spidey. Example, Doc Ock using the nanotech, gaining control of his arms.
Yeah, look, I think Doc Ock is clearly going to be fighting alongside Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I also think Venom is going to be there to fight alongside Spider-Man. I've already said that before. I said that a long time ago, that while it is probably Tobey and Andrew that are the missing two invisible people in that fight, the two invisible people could be Doc Ock and Venom. Right? So, but yeah, you are not the only one who thinks that. Kim is in the boat of not believing that these guys are going to be in the movie. So there's that as well. So you guys might be right. All right, guys, that's it for all of your live comments.
We have two more.
We do?
Yeah, Soul Brother.
Oh my gosh, I missed those. All right, what's next?
Soul Brother Max says, this is unpopular. I prefer Star Wars prequel over the Star Wars sequel.
I don't know that I think it's a totally wrong opinion. But it is not totally unpopular. There are some people that I like. Personally, I feel like if you prefer the prequels over the sequels, it's been too long for you to remember just how bad those prequels are. But whatever. The bottom line is neither of them are as good as the original trilogy. Neither of them are anywhere near as good as the original trilogy. But hey, listen, Soul Brother Mac, you're not alone. There are other people who share that opinion too. So keep that in mind. That was the last one, right?
That was the last one.
That was the last one. Okay. Now, guys, we're going to spend the rest of our show, now that we've moved on from the comments that you guys have been sending in, we're now going to move over and start taking questions you guys sent in. Once again, if you want to send in a question to the show that's going to be read either on this show or in an upcoming companion video, just go down to the tip link in the description video and click on it there, or enter it in manually at www.streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. You'll be getting your question read on a show if we deem it appropriate to read on the show. And of course, you're supporting the channel at the same time. So with that said, what are our questions today?
All right, we're starting with Chris W. I finished watching Arcane over the weekend, and I agree with you. It's great. Jinx really reminded me of a cross between Joker and Harley Quinn, but in the end of the day, I would dare to say she outdoes both of them by the end.
See, I get the comparison. Even Anne makes a comparison to like Harley Quinn. And while she is like borderline crazy,
Yeah.
I find her to be a very different character. I really do find her to be a very, very different character, but I'm glad you saw it. I'm glad you liked it. It is my favorite animated show of all time right now. All right, what's next?
Jack Dries says, loved Ticket Watch. The breaking news segments were funny. Will admit, was one of the 2%ers. Got Friday night tickets for Majestic 7, Watertown, Massachusetts. Then next morning, I got an opening Thursday IMAX ticket for myself at AMC Assembly Row in Somerville, MA.
Going back to what you were saying, people are buying multiple tickets.
Everyone that says I got my ticket says I got my ticket and then some.
And that's awesome. I'm glad you were able to get those showings, Jack. I hope you have a good time, man. What's next?
Tom says, DW, Arcane Season 2 will still focus on the same characters, but I've heard Riot wants to make more shows with the same animation style set in the same world. My fear is that they won't be able to maintain the same level of quality across multiple shows.
Look, it's a corporate thing. You do something and have some success, suddenly you think you can do 80 things, and they're all going to have the same success. And look, I'm not blaming Arcane. Like, yeah, you just knocked it out of the park with Arcane. You just knocked it out of the park with that. So yeah, maybe you start thinking bigger, but you also got to temper it. Let's see if they have, hopefully Netflix will help them understand, hey, take it easy. You had one hit. Let's see if season 2 can be good. And if you want to expand, let's take it slowly. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. What's next?
Tom says, what do you think? Is it realistic to expect the studio to grow and produce more shows alongside Arcane and maintain quality? Maybe they should do a mini series or movie instead of trying to do multiple full series.
The key will be, if you can expand slowly. Take it bit by bit, but don't try to bite off more than you can chew, because I honestly feel like Disney and Marvel might be in a little bit of position. I think they might be producing a little bit too much content, but even then, it took them 10 years, 11 years, 12 years to build up to that level of output. So just be patient. All right, what's next?
Wes Maurer says, hey, John, is it now safe to say that Channing Tatum's Gambit project is never going to happen? LOL. Was actually really intrigued by that idea for years.
I think it is safe to say. I know a lot of people got very upset when they heard Channing Tatum was going to be Gambit, but at that point I was like, listen, you know what? He's actually become pretty good. And you look at his physicality and what he can do.
Oh, yeah.
I actually thought he would make a really good Gambit, and I was really hoping to see it. But at this point, it does look like the cause is lost. I don't think it's going to happen. All right, what's next?
John Martin says, Sony exec, I know we're going to drop the Tobey and Andrew trailer on Spider Monday, but John Campea just bet he would eat ketchup and eggs if we don't release the trailer. Delay the trailer release.
I said they're going to delay. It's going to come out next week. That's when the trailer's going to come out next week. Those bastards at Sony. All right, what's next?
Agent J says, Bonjour, John and Co.
Bonjour, Agent J. Je m'appelle Jean. Comment t'appelles-tu? Okay, anyway, sorry.
Oui. The most moving moment in your show is when you found out the wish list you created for the adoptive family was empty. Very heartwarming. Congratulations to everyone for improving this family's life. It was very inspiring. Bravo.
It was inspiring, I think, to Ray and I sitting here and seeing. I had hoped over a week half of the wish list we bought. Halfway through the show, the entire thing was emptied out. And then we relisted a whole bunch of new stuff later in the evening. And within 2 hours of that was all gone. It was a very emotional moment. And I'm very, very grateful. I'm overwhelmed by our community. All right, what's next?
Connor D says, John, breaking news. As a result of my current employment, I have become aware of the most jaw-dropping cameo coming to us in Spider-Man No Way Home. The infamous Limu Emu and Doug will be appearing as a part of a marketing partnership. Hold my beer, Tobey and Andrew.
Okay.
What's that?
First of all, the Limu Emu and Doug.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to lie. I like those commercials.
They're great.
But here's the scary thing.
That guy's funny, too.
It is funny. But here's the scary thing. I don't think we're far away from that. I honestly don't think we're far away from movies incorporating like corporate marketing,
like taking product placement,
taking
to another
product
level.
placement to another scary level,
like Flo from Progressive being a Marvel villain.
Yeah, or like being if WandaVision was made 5 years from now, Agatha would have been Flo. It would have been Flo, always walking around with the burger. I don't know that that's an extreme hyperbole, but I don't know if we're too far away from something like that happening. All right, what's next?
Ryan G says, John, Ray, and Kimberly, sorry in advance. My Canadian loving bro, hashtag ketchup on eggs every Tuesday.
Oh, no. One-time thing.
Every Tuesday.
Tuesday. Ketchup on egg Tuesdays.
Sketch.
Family Guy.
Forget Taco Tuesdays.
Oh, God, that sounds
All right,
great.
what's next?
Family Guy, who wants chowder and then start vomiting on Ray, but you didn't. For next time, hashtag Ray is the king of this bet.
Ray is 1-0 undefeated
That's
in the
it.
bets.
That's all
All
the
right.
bets for me.
What's next?
Ryan G says, hi, John, Ray, and Kimberly. I got my Spider-Man No Way Home tickets after dinner on Monday. After error on the iPad, I finally got my tickets for Spider-Man No Way Home on my phone in IMAX. F seats. I can't wait to see it on Saturday, December.
With all the frustration, it's great to hear the success stories that people had. I hope you have a good time, Ryan, and I'm glad you got your tickets, dude, especially after the error. All right, what's next?
Let's see.
I think it's still Ryan G.
Yeah, that was the finishing the sentence.
Oh, okay, gotcha,
December 18th
gotcha.
at 12 p.m. with my dad for the first time back in the movie since 2 years ago, since seeing Onward.
Oh, this is a good one to come back for, man. And Onward, I think Onward was the last one that Ann and I saw in theaters before
Oh, really?
the big drought. Yeah, I think that was the last one we saw too. So, hey, this is a good one to come back for, Ryan. All right, what's next?
This is one of five. The Jughead says, hi, John, and hello to your new to your 2 new members of the John Campea Show, my new brother Ray Ora and my sister Kimberly Curran. I'm about to embark on a rant of Brobdingnagian proportions. Did I see that?
I have no idea.
Brobdingnagian proportions. LOL. Here goes. John. WTF is Ridley Scott's problem? This fool. I just saw The Last Dune. Duel. The Last Dune.
The Last Dune. It's a crossover event.
That would be amazing. I saw The Last Duel, my film of 2021 so far, and The House of Gucci. Guess what? Ridley Damars. Oh. I also enjoyed Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and The Eternals. What Ridley fails to understand is that films like The Last Duel are dry subjects and a consequence. Such films will never pull in numbers like Shang-Chi or any other comic book movie. Get over it, Ridley. Hey, Ridley, did you complain when Lord of the Rings, Return of the King was nominated for 11 Oscars? No. Then Ridley, my misanthropic friend, you are a hypocrite. What is the difference between Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and Avengers Endgame?
A lot. There's a big, there's a lot different. There's a lot different. Anyway, go on.
They're both fantasy. I'll tell you, Ridley, you crusty curmudgeon. One was derived from a classic piece of literature, and the other is derived from the world of comics, and as a consequence, you deem such material unworthy of recognition. Ridley, you fool. The movie industry is big enough for all genres. Whew. That's it, John. I'll go and calm down now. I would change my YouTube name from The Jughead to Stonebing. But you already have that title, John. LOL. Take care, bros and gal. Love and respect from the UK.
Okay, thanks for writing that in. Now, look, first of all, let me say this. People, in the words of Vincini from Princess Bride, you keep using, or not Vincina, Indigo, he says, you keep using that word. I do not think it means what it thinks it means. When he keeps saying inconceivable, when Vincini keeps saying inconceivable. People online use the word hypocrite completely improperly. A hypocrite is when somebody actively preaches against something while actively engaging in that same something they preach against.
So that's like Ridley Scott directing the next Spider-Man movie and then going, these damn comic book movies are crap.
That would
by the way,
if he was coming out here, if he was coming out saying, I think comic book movies suck, and then tomorrow we found out that he had already accepted a gig directing a new X-Men movie, that's hypocritical, right? Actually, that's not hypocritical. If he just says, I think comic book movies suck, and then he decides to direct a comic book movie, that's just him saying, I think I can do it better. Hypocritical is saying nobody should make comic book movies. Nobody should make comic book movies. No director should ever accept directing a comic book movie. And then tomorrow he accepts a job. That's hypocrisy. People use the word hypocrisy really too loosely. And sorry, I'm a little bit of a stickler for the meaning of words. But that aside. Also, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King is not the same as Endgame. Those are two wildly different movies. Completely different movies. So, no, there's that as well. But I agree with you, man, in the sense that I don't know why Ridley Scott or any filmmakers feel the need to go out of their way to bash a successful genre film that they are not involved in themselves. Like, I get it. When something doesn't work in your life, you look for a scapegoat and you look to blame something for the failure of whatever it is you're doing. And maybe Ridley Scott, I don't think it's a coincidence that Ridley Scott just had The Last Duel flop miserably. And by the way, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. But it did flop miserably. I don't think it's a coincidence that flopped miserably, and then he came out with such vitriol against the idea of comic book movies that even in the pandemic era are making money. And I just personally, I think it's a lack of class for professional filmmakers to be bashing on the work of other professional filmmakers. You let the fans do that. Let the audience do that. Let nobody's like me on YouTube. Let us do that. You're a professional filmmaker. It's not your place. I just think it's a lack of class. I just think it's a lack of class. You know what? Recently, a very popular online film critic YouTuber, Chris Stuckman. You guys know I know Chris. He has been hired by a production company to direct a film that he's going to be doing. And I really respect that when he did that, he came out and said, look, I'm not going to be doing film criticism anymore.
Yeah,
Because,
that was great.
It's not my place to bash when I'm doing it myself. Now, he'll still come out and talk about review movies that he loves and stuff like that, but he's not going to be bashing on films anymore because that's not his place anymore. Because he aspires to be and is now a professional filmmaker. And I just think that guys like Ridley Scott, who I admire his work to no end, I just think guys like Ridley Scott could learn something from Chris Stuckman. And then that's just my take on it. All right, what's next?
Ordinary Human Bartender says, hi, John. I'm a fan of movie scores, and nobody talks about the Man of Steel's score. I could listen to that soundtrack on its own. Is it not talked about because people, for some reason, didn't like the film? Maybe I'm biased, but what are your thoughts?
If you don't hear people talking about Man of Steel's score, you don't listen to my show very much. I literally, minimum 3 times a week, when I get in the shower in the morning, I always get something play on my Google Home that's I have one in the bathroom. And at least 3 times a week, when I get in the shower, I say, I've got one in my office too, so I have to say it quietly. I say, hey, Google, play What Are You Going to Do When You're Not Saving the World by Hans Zimmer, which is, of course, the main Superman theme from Man of Steel. I listen to that minimum 3 days a week. It gets my blood rushing. It gets me pumped. It gets me psyched to come get out of the shower, get dressed, and do the show.
That's why I saw you lifting that car when I came over
It
today.
could be. I'm here. You can do anything when you listen to that music. The score for Man of Steel is unbelievably good. The one thing I've always said that the DC films have done consistently better than the Marvel films have. Maybe until just recently, because Marvel's been stepping up their game with their scores. But for the longest time, I said the one thing DC does consistently better than Marvel films is their scores. They do a terrific job on most of their scores, and Man of Steel is no exception.
You know which one is better than Man of Steel? Which soundtrack?
Terminal?
You got
Are you going to
served.
say Terminal?
Batman Begins.
Oh, Batman Begins is a
I didn't
great
realize
soundtrack.
it until one day I was walking and I had my headphones on and I put it on. I just started listening to it on a loop over and over again. Then I start remembering all the different parts of the movie. But yeah, that's why
Which is also Hans Zimmer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I actually
it's also
go
Hans
back and
Zimmer.
forth between which is the better Batman movie, and it's mainly for the soundtrack of Batman Begins.
A lot of people love that one. That's a great one. All right, what's next?
Dad Joke says, congrats, John. Today's episode was awful. I was pumped to watch you eat ketchup and eggs, and midway through, I realized we made a huge mistake. You've ruined ketchup on eggs for me, and I was getting sick watching you force that down. You are a champ.
Okay, if you thought you were getting sick watching me force it down, try being the one trying to force it. Thank God I had Pepto-Bismol here. Pepto-Bismol is a marvelous product, by the way. Thank you, folks at Pepto-Bismol.
There's more in the fridge, John.
More Pepto in the fridge or more eggs?
Ketchup and
More
eggs.
extra.
I mixed it for you.
Just in case I changed my mind and started to like it. All right, what's next?
Omar from the Bronx says, hey, John, Marvel never shows its full hand, but the Spider-Man trailers seem to show all the villains and the premise. Is this a sign that we have no idea what the movie is really about, or is Sony in charge of the marketing and overplaying their hand?
Okay, number one, Sony is in charge of the marketing because they are the distributor of the film. But I don't think at all they've overplayed their hand. First of all, trailers should tell you the premise of a film. A trailer should tell you what is this movie about without giving everything away. Here's the thing. You look at that and you think, oh, they've showed us all the stuff. They have not showed you all the stuff. They have, if anything, I think Sony has underplayed their hand with the marketing for No Way Home so far.
What?
I think they have underplayed their hand. I think we are going to be hit with so many big surprises that are going to catch you so off guard and so out of nowhere. I think you're so number one, Sony is in charge of the marketing, but I do not believe at all that they have that they have overplayed their hand.
We are not ready.
No, I don't think we're
None
ready.
of us are ready for this.
Not for what's coming. I know a couple things that are coming that I cannot say, but yeah, damn, it's going to be huge. All right, what's next?
Wes Maurer says, "Hey, John, was watching the show and just hearing you say you don't know when the next time there will be buzz like this around a movie, but I'm thinking the first time there's any mention of mutants popping up in the MCU, the movie will have people flipping out."
I don't think so. I think it'll have some people flipping out, but listen, not the average moviegoer. The average moviegoer is going to get totally flipped out about Spider-Man and the other Spider-Man movies that they saw coming and all this kind of stuff. I don't think the average movie fan is going to be losing their minds over the next iteration of different X-Men. Look, fact of the matter is this. Not one X-Men movie's ever made $1 billion.
This is true.
Now, there might have been one. Ray, can you look up the box office worldwide total for X-Men Days of Future Past? That one might have done it. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, the X-Men movies, while a lot of them are great, I mean, they've never been the most popular amongst the comic book genre. A lot of them made middling money. And now, like with Spider-Man No Way Home, we're talking about Spider-Man you used to watch before and Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. This is like, just the next rebooted iteration of X-Men. I don't think that's going to get anywhere near the buzz. Like, I'm excited for it, and comic book movie fans will be very, very excited for it. But is it going to stir the imagination and get the enthusiasm going with just the average film goers the way that Spider-Man No Way Home is? I don't think so. Ray, were you able to get a total
Days of
for that?
Future Past?
Yeah.
Was 746 million.
Oh, yeah. So, like, even that didn't hit $1 billion. It didn't even really get close to $1 billion. So, yeah, I don't think so. Not on this level. Amongst the hardcore comic book movie fans, absolutely. Amongst the general movie-going audience, nope.
And that was the highest grossing X-Men?
I think that was the highest. I mean, First Class might have been higher.
Let's see.
How much was
First
Logan?
Class was 352 million.
How much was Logan?
Logan, okay.
Logan's a good one to know, but I don't even think Logan was rated
I don't
R.
think Logan touched any.
I think maybe Logan maybe capped out at 500 to 600 million off the top of my head.
619 million.
619 million. There
So
you
it's
go.
in the middle of those two.
So yeah, that's kind of my take on that. All right, what's next?
Garden Variety Vagabond says, "John, saw this quote from Amy Pascal. When Marvel Studios, sorry, I was about to sneeze as I said Marvel. When Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige first pitched the idea to produce the films to her back in late 2014, she did not initially take it well, and she recalled crying and almost throwing a sandwich at Feige."
It's funny because Feige used to work for her. I mean, so it's really fun. I think I've heard that story before. That's a good one to share, Garden Variety. Thanks for putting that in there. All right, what's next?
Ryan Launer says, "Word is that Stephen Sondheim was able to see Steven Spielberg's West Side Story before his passing and loved it. And for full context, he didn't care much for the 1961 film. R.I.P. to a true titan of his
Yeah,
his
I mean,
profession."
and that 1961 film won 10 Academy Awards, including Best Picture.
Wow.
And I haven't seen West Side Story yet myself. I'm reading a lot of critics saying it's better than the 1961 version.
Wow.
I'm reading like Variety saying it improves upon the 1961 version. So it's Spielberg. I haven't been very excited for this movie, but it is Spielberg. Let's see how that goes.
Can we just say how amazing it is that Rita Moreno
Oh yeah.
that has a place in this film
Yeah,
and
you
has a
have
role
to.
60 years apart. You were the first Latina to win an Academy Award, and now you're going to be in Steven Spielberg's version. What a monumental career.
Now, if they really wanted to be ballsy, they would have let her play the same role. 60 years later, same role.
Doing it,
She'll be 90.
doing it better still.
Still doing it better. All right. what's
Better than
next?
you.
Abraham said, "Oh my God." Abraham says, "Hey, y'all got my Spidey ticks for IMAX, but got me thinking, how does a theater select its locations? AMC IMAX is an hour drive, and although Cinemarks are closer, it's their XD premium screens only. It's nice, but it pales in comparison to IMAX and Dolby, in my opinion."
Does he have a part 2?
Yes, he does.
I don't see it though.
I'm trying to find it.
Nope.
And I'm not
He must have
finding
forgot to put one in.
it.
It's real
Damn
simple.
it.
It's the same strategy how any business tries to decide where they open it. Can we do business if we're there? Is there a population base for that? And is there already competition there? Here's a great example. Downtown Burbank, there are literally 3 AMC theaters within a 10-minute walk of each other. The AMC Burbank 16, the AMC 8, and I think the AMC 10, I think it's what it's called. Anyway, they're literally all within 5, 6, 7, 8-minute walks of each other. They're all right there in the same block. And nobody else is going to go down there. No other theater chain is going to open one down there because there's already so much competition. There's already a major movie theater there. Now, if you're at Times Square in New York, you can do that. You got 9 million people living within whatever, like in every, I mean, but you got to take in consideration the territory, the potential demographic, and how many potential consumers are there. Is there already existing competition? All that kind of stuff. So all these things go into play when a movie theater chain is deciding where to drop new movie theaters. All right, what's next?
Tom G says, loved Ticket Watch 2021.
Thank you.
With your adoptive family Amazon donations a success, when can we expect a wish list watch stream?
I don't think that would get as many viewers where we'll put up a wish list and say, now we're going to item by item, see who's got what. I don't know. I just don't know if people would watch that one, but maybe something we can consider. Thanks for that, Tom. All right, what's next?
Anonymous says, hey, John, what are your thoughts on Ron Perlman? He is in Don't Look Up, Nightmare Alley, and the new Transformers. Also, I started watching Spartacus. It's fantastic. Manu Bennett is good as Cyrix. Crixus. Thank you. Thank you so much.
First of all, I'm going to see if I can find something here. So first of all, there it is. Hold on a second. Okay, I get that. Okay, so Ron Perlman is great. He will always be, I know a lot of people always think of Ron Perlman as Hellboy. Total due respect to that. I will always think of him as Clay in my top 3 favorite television shows of all time, Sons of Anarchy. He is so good in that show. And he just brings something to the role. He's got this great presence. I remember the first time I was really like, damn, this guy is so good. I think it was Enemy at the Gates. The one he did with Jude Law is a supporting role. He might have even gotten an Academy Award nomination for it. I can't remember that exactly, but I love Ron Perlman. As far as Spartacus, it is also in my top 3 all-time favorite TV shows ever. I love that. And one of the big shining lights in that show was Manu Bennett playing Crixus. And Manu was great in that. Of course, and he went on to be in the Hobbit movies. He was the White Orc in the Hobbit movies. He was in the Shahandra Chronicles show. He's done a number of other things. He's great. So I'm going to show this to you. This is a couple of years ago. This is me and Manu Bennett a couple of years ago at my annual Comic-Con Masters of the Web panel that I had. So Manu was my guest that year. And actually, true story. Manu actually... You know, he came down into San Diego and he was like, it was like the day before, he's like, I totally forgot to get a hotel. I'm like, dude, I've got this penthouse. We booked like a penthouse thing in San Diego overlooking the AMC booked this penthouse for us overlooking the convention center. I said, just come crash with us. So Manu came into town. I went and picked him up at the train station. We hung out for the night. We even went on a double date. After that. That's so fun. He was great. Manu was really, really great. It was great to have him there. And, yeah, he's a pretty strong dude. He got me in that headlock there. He was a pretty strong dude. Anyway, there's that. Okay, what is next?
Hunter says, hi again, John. I believe you've said your favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi.
Yes, it is.
It's been my favorite as well all my life. I'm now 20, and I still get teared up at the end. Just wanted to know why it's your favorite. Thanks, and love the show.
I mean, it's a lot of different things. First of all, it's 3 different movies. I mean, first there's the whole Jabba on Tatooine thing, which is great. Then there's the whole, I mean, I love the Endor stuff because screw you, I love the Ewoks. I give my expression why the Ewoks are so freaking awesome. I love the Ewoks, but it is the single greatest space battle scene ever in cinematic history. There's never been a space battle scene as good as the one in Return of the Jedi. It's just the best ever. That and the greatest sequence in any Star Wars movie ever, the Emperor's Throne Room sequence with Vader, the Emperor, and Luke. That, to me, is the greatest sequence in Star Wars movie history. For that reason and many others, Return of the Jedi is, in my opinion, the greatest Star Wars movie of all time. All right, what's next?
Dangerous D says, hi, John. DC Comics created their own Avengers and Justice League Incarnate. Number 1, we're introduced to the Retaliators, American Crusaders, Captain America, Machine Head, Iron Man, Behemoth, Hulk, Deadeye, Hawkeye, Red Dragon, Black Widow, Woundudgeon, Thor, let me scroll up, Mad Tarsus, Thanos. We're also introduced to Dr. Multiverse, which I believe is their Captain Marvel. Retaliators Rampage is their slogan. There's even a clash between Darkseid and Tarsus. Guess who won the fight? Picking up a copy, John?
So here's the interesting thing. If you go and read, there's a book out that you've heard us talk about here called Slugfest, the 70-year-old battle between Marvel and DC. You've heard us mention this book before. I think it's definitely called Slugfest. I can't remember the exact wording of the subtitle, but I think it's the 70-year battle of Marvel and DC. Anyway, there are so many stories in that book about how the two sides would often play, mimic, and sometimes even mock each other and their characters, stuff like that. There's a lot of really good stories in the book. I have recommended to you guys pick up Slugfest. It's available on Audible as well if you want to listen to the book. It's read by the author. Check it out. There's going to be a lot of interesting stories like that one in there, Dangerous D. All right, what's next?
Star Wars Girl says, after seeing Dune, I thought, wow, I want some of these more mystical elements in Star Wars. I want to see someone struggle with the dark side in ways we haven't seen yet. A in-depth and complex look. Boba and Mando don't do anything for me as a fan, sadly.
See, but this Boba Fett and Mandalorian represent something that I think is very important in Star Wars. Star Wars should never just be about Jedis. Star Wars should never just be about the Force. Star Wars should never just be about bounty hunters. Star Wars should never just be about the rebellion. Star Wars represents the universe and world that George Lucas created is so vast and beautiful and great. There's so many different kinds of stories that can be told. And I love the fact that we have a show like Mandalorian to juxtapose against other types of shows that I'm sure will get, like if Acolyte ever happens, I'm sure that's going to get really deep into struggling with the dark side and wrestling with that and actually being an Acolyte. And look, there's a lot of different stories to tell. I just hope that they do them all well because sometimes they've struggled with that. So that's the key. Anyway, thanks for writing that in, Star Wars Girl. I appreciate that. And I love the username, obviously. All right. Last question of the day. What's next?
Anonymous says, I feel like the Mando personally is very pretty packaging with a pretty minimal story. If it wasn't for Baby Yoda, I personally would have dropped it. I know it's unpopular, but I personally like the mystical, weirder aspects of Star Wars of the deep lore.
See, I'm going to disagree on that because Mandalorian, to me, it's a Western. It's like the old style Clint Eastwood, fistful of dollars kind of Western set in the Star Wars universe, and that I loved. It didn't work for you, and that's totally cool, but for me, it worked a lot. All right, that was a follow-up. So let's do one more as the final question of the day. What's last?
Okay, my favorite viewer says, yo, crew, I got my Spidey tickets for the 16th. If I did the time difference math correctly, by the time I will be walking out of the theater, you will be going in for your private viewing. Leave your expectation at the door, and let's all enjoy it.
I mean, yeah, and here's hoping. And you're right. So if you're on the East Coast, and that's a 3-hour time difference, we will be walking in to watch our movie just as you're walking out because that's going to be 3:30 here. So anyway, hope you have a good time watching it. My favorite viewer. I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people are as well. Okay, guys, listen. There are still more questions to come from Bro Thor, I love that name, Chuck the Mystery, Affirm, and others. Do not worry, guys. I'm going to be doing a companion video a little bit later today, and we will get caught up as much as we can on all the questions that you guys sent in. So if you've sent in a question and you haven't seen it answered yet, just hold tight. We got a companion video coming. All right, guys. With that said, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. Big special thanks to all of you guys who sent in the comments and the questions. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it. And all of us involved with the John Campea Show. Thank you guys very, very much for your support. I also want to thank Kimberly Curran for being here. Kimberly, where can people follow you?
Yeah, you guys, I'm on Instagram at WasGoodKimberly.
And of course, Ray, the undefeated in bets with John, the unvictorious in competitions with Kim. Where can people follow you?
Ray Oro with a 0. Thanks.
And of course, you guys, you can follow me on Twitter. Go and follow me right now over on Twitter, simply at John Campea. That'll do it for us, guys. My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.